Hey guys, glad you could join me today. Today I'm hoping will be a relatively short video because we are using UV resin. I've only used it a couple times, so what I'll do for my post earrings is I'll put a dab on there, put the post on there, and then just use the UV light, and it solidifies a lot faster than trying to use regular resin. I also attempted a charm. I didn't like how it looks, but I'm probably just going to put it in my discounted section. I'm sure somebody out there will like it. So that's what we're doing today. I found this really cute tic-tac-toe mold. Super small. I wasn't expecting it to be this small, but this allows it to be more travel, easily traveled with. I could probably crochet a little pouch to fit it in, things like that. The thing that I'm a little concerned about is I've used it straight up, just clear. Today I'm going to be putting in some mica powder. It's Perfect Pearls. I have a couple different colors. I have green, blue, and silver, and then I have some just generic glitter. I don't know how that's going to work. I know I can't put too much in it because the light has to be able to penetrate all the way through for it to solidify correctly. Now the light that I have is this. I don't know. My boss gave it to me. He had two, so he's like, here, just take one. So this is what I'm using. I'm sure you could use, I think I have a little flashlight size one in here somewheres. Yes. I bought this. I got this on Temu. I got this on Temu, and I got this on Temu. So if you're looking to find where I got it, that's where I got it. But this is also a UV light and would work just as well. This giant one just covers more area. I have also figured out that, when I was making this, the reason that it didn't turn out how I would have liked it to, is because I put the light too close and it started bubbling, like boiling. I'm guessing that's what happens with the light when it's trying to activate the whatever activates in here to cure it, to make it hard. So without further ado, I guess I will attempt to do this. I think what I'm going to do is make the X's one color, the O's one color, because duh. And then I'm probably going to do silver for the outline, and then glitter for the outline, and then the shiny white. It's not really a silver, it's more like a white color for the base. I'm hoping it works, because then I can do things a little quicker. UV resin is a lot faster, and it does cure relatively clear. I haven't had any issues with it curing wonky as far as bubbly or anything like that, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'm just more concerned with, you can't put too much powder in it, or if you use the resin color, you can't put too much in it, because it has to be able to penetrate all the way through to the bottom layer. Alrighty. I always use too much. I'm hoping I don't this time. So fingers crossed. Do a little prayer. I think I'm gonna go with 10. I think 10 milliliters. That's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna fill this up to 10 milliliters. Now, if you just wanted to do it straight up, hold on, I can't measure and talk at the same time, and I can already tell this is going to be too much. Okay, if you wanted to just put this in there and then harden it, that's fine too. I just wanted to put some color in it because I want to see how that works, if it does work, if it doesn't work, whatever. And now we get to deal with glitter. Anybody who's ever worked with glitter knows it goes everywhere and you can never clean it all the way up. So I think that's probably more than enough. It'll be sparkly for a week. So we're going to mix that in there. A good thing about the UV resin is it doesn't solidify until it gets the UV light. So if you notice, this is in a black bottle. It's so that sunlight doesn't get through. If it sits out in the sun, it will solidify, just not as fast as it would with a UV light. Okay, now in one of my videos I showed how to feed it in. You kind of have to go slow because this is a 2-layer thing. You could do just one color, but where's the fun in that? And I was kind of looking at this thinking, I feel like the squares are a little small for the letters, the X's and O's, so we'll see just how Chinese made this is. You know, sometimes it doesn't turn out like it's supposed to. But I thought it was cute, and I think it was like, I don't know, $2. Figured if anything, it'd be fun for my nephew when he gets older. You know, can start playing games. In the video that I showed for feeding in, I used my, this thing for really small spaces. These spaces aren't really that small, so if you put a little bit on the popsicle stick and then just let it feed, then the liquid will fill in where it needs to and even out and all that fun stuff. I don't think I made too much overage, so that's a plus. For something like this, you could probably paint the mica powder on it, because it is pretty big spaces, and then you'd still get the two-toned. But you know, I can't do anything easy. Where's the fun in doing it the easy way? Does spread pretty easy. That's nice. Sometimes when you use regular resin, it gets too thick too fast, or it just doesn't spread out as fast as you would want it to. So you kind of have to sit and wait. Okay, so that's pretty filled. I didn't waste too much. That's not a whole lot. I'll put this in something. I don't know what, but I'll put it in something. Or I might just mix it all together and make a little charm or something. Alrighty, let's get that off of there. Now, don't, what am I going to say? What am I trying to say? If you aren't sure if you're allergic to it or not. Obviously, don't do what I just did and wipe it on your fingers. Where are... sorry, I have to get a paper towel. Alrighty. Okay. That looks pretty darn good to me. So let's do the light. If I can find the button. There we go. Alrighty. It doesn't take too long. Don't put it too close. Otherwise it could do that boiling thing. You don't want that. Sparkles look pretty in the light. Ooh, shiny. A little longer. It's already started to solidify, but... And another thing that I would suggest is, so after I'm done with the second layer, and I let that heat up, do what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that's solid. See, you don't have to wait 24 hours like you would with regular resin, but there are certain, I guess, pitfalls in that you can't do a thick layer. So if you wanted to do a full-on pyramid, either you would have to use the regular resin, because there's no way that the light can penetrate all the way down here, or you would have to do layer by layer by layer, which I guess that just depends on your patience level. Okay, so we got that. Now let's see, that took about 5. That was about 5 milliliters. So this should be 10, because it's the same width and it's double. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do 10. One technique that I thought I was going to do and forgot because I'm a little hopped up on caffeine. You can fill this with water and then pour it into one of these cups, and that'll tell you how much you need, rather than eyeballing it, which I do all the time, and then I end up with all this excess resin, which for me isn't a huge deal because I have some rando project on the side that I use it for, but just for those that don't want to play that game, you can fill this with water and then dump it into a measuring cup, and that'll tell you how much exactly you need of resin. Okay, let me get a different. Got a little ice cream spoon because I don't throw things away. Okay, I think that's probably more than enough. I know some people are like, you need, just the size of the head of a pen worth of mica powder. I like to actually see the mica powder. Like, I want to see the color and the shimmer and all that. And if you don't put enough in there, then it doesn't do either of those things. When you're mixing, make sure you get all the chunks. See, it's still transparent, but you can see the shimmer. If you don't put enough in there, you're not going to see that. I'm a little heavy on lots of things, so that's how I roll. Okay, so this is just pour in. Hopefully I made enough. It doesn't look like I did. See, I didn't math it right. Okay. That's fine. I'll make I think another 10. Another plus to this. It doesn't matter if the cup's completely clean or not, because you're not measuring 2 parts. If you're measuring 2 parts, then you have to make sure the cup is clean, otherwise the measurements won't be accurate, and then the resin won't set right, and so on and so forth. I feel like 10 should be enough. That's what I said the first time, but... Okay. Just going to feed it to the edges. I don't want it bubbled, otherwise it won't sit right. So that's why I'm spreading it rather than adding more. Oh, and this table, I got this from Amazon. It's a leveling table, because this, well, my whole house isn't level. But the table, in conjunction with the uneven floor, sometimes makes it difficult to have resin pour evenly. So that looks like it is right on the edge. I think that looks good. Okay, that's what we're gonna go with. Okay, set that off to the side there. Alrighty, let's get the light. Now with this being a little thicker, again, don't put it too close, otherwise you'll start boiling. No one wants that. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you can see that. There's smoke. Now even with regular resin, it does get hot. The reaction between the two parts, the A and B parts, when it sits and starts reacting, it does get really hot. So it does make sense that this would get hot. It's just kind of weird seeing it smoke. So I think the light was too close. Let's see. I'll do that a little bit longer. You can see the shimmer of the white there. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a minute because it is hot, and start on the X's and O's. Now, even though this is hot, doesn't mean this is hot. This isn't hot. So don't think that it's going to heat up the metal and then you're going to burn yourself. This isn't hot. It's just the reaction of the resin with it getting hot and solidifying. Sorry, I like to put my hand on the stove. Okay, I'll set this off to the side. Try not to bend it too much so that it doesn't get warped. There may be some pros and cons to doing it with UV resin compared to regular resin, but I wanted to see. You don't know until you try. Let's do, I think 5 should be sufficient. I am going to use the same thing. It has a little bit of the white still in there. I don't think that'll cause too much issue with the colors. So we're going to go with 5. Okay, we're going to go with green first. Let's see. I think green should be the X's. That's what I think. Just put a little bit in there. And I am using the same popsicle stick. Again, it's not a huge difference. They're both shiny, and white is pretty pretty not noticeable. I don't know if you can see that or not. Looks more blue than green. We'll go with it. Okay. I think I said X's. I'm going to do all the X's. And again, the space isn't very big, so you can... What I usually do is I'll put some in the middle and then it'll spread itself out. I might need a little bit more. Maybe not. Maybe I did it right. Look at me go, guys. Look at me go. It does seem to fill pretty well. Sometimes with regular resin you'll get bubble pockets in corners or edges. Look at that! Don't say anything. It's like I know what I'm doing or something. Crazy talk, I say. Crazy. Okay. Probably just going to mix more in that one with the blue. It's not a huge difference, so I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay. Now, as I was mixing it, I noticed that it was a little sticky. Probably because it was in the way of the light. So I'm going to move this off to the side and get the light over here. Again, this just covers more space. If you want to use a little flashlight size one, that's perfectly fine. The reason I got the little one is because I do have some glow-in-the-dark earrings, and hopefully I think in September I'm going to be in a festival to sell some of my stuff. So I'm hoping people will ask, you know, what they'd want to see that it's glow in the dark. I don't have a whole lot of glow-in-the-dark pieces, but I do have some. Now, one thing about this, it does tend to bubble. if it gets too hot. I'm trying to push it back down. Like this here, it pulled up from the edges. There's a little mound here, but I think it's manageable. Okay. We're gonna let that sit, because it's probably gonna get cooked again when I do this. Alrighty. So I did 5, right? Alrighty. There's 5. Oh, I haven't opened this yet. What? I don't know where these came from. I know where they came from. They came from my aunt's house. We were cleaning out her scrapbook room. And so that's where I got it. As far as where she got it, couldn't tell you. I'm sure you could Google it and it'll tell you. But I have no clue. Oh, really? Come on. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize this wasn't open yet. Okay. I think we're there. We're there. Right. My hands are so sticky. I would suggest wearing gloves. I was just not thinking. I was just too excited to. I was too excited to think. So I didn't. Especially, definitely wear gloves if you don't know if you're allergic to this or not. Like if you're new. I say the same thing for regular resin. If you don't know, it's better to be safe than sorry. I have, my cousin's wife is allergic to it. I think she said she breaks out in hives, which no one likes hives. Hives suck. Okay. Guess the O's take more than the X's. Nope. Perfect. Okay. Alright, move that off to the side. Try and get the sticky off my hand. This definitely pulled. So I think what I am coming to the conclusion of is that things like this I wouldn't use UV resin for. Maybe just for jewelry, like if you're just doing charms or something that it's okay if it bows. But what it does is it pulls on the outside into the middle and starts to bubble. Unless I'm just putting too much light on it, but I think I've been pretty far away. I'd say I'm about like 5 or 6 inches away from here. You probably can't tell since you're up above. Still a little sticky. Again, you want to make sure it can penetrate to the bottom. So I'm going to let these cool off for a smidge. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it or not. It pulled from the edge and went up to the middle. Same with here. It pulled from the edge. So the X's and O's are definitely not flat, but I'm sure they're still usable. Is this still sticky? Okay, let's see if I can. Oh, I got a bubble. I did some crap. It's still sticky. So what I'm thinking happened is it didn't go all the way to the bottom. Come on. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light. I got a bubble here. That's disappointing. Okay, so I'm going to heat it from this side. Or it could be that I put too much glitter in it. I don't know. I've never used color for UV resin before. I can't tell if it's sticky or if I'm sticky. Bubble's kind of a bummer. Could have sworn. Oh, probably what happened is when I was heating it, it pulled it all to the middle and took it away from the edge. It's fine. I'm learning that UV resin is not the best option for this. And honestly, I don't even know how the X's and O's are going to fit in those squares. Okay, let's see if I can. Still a little sticky. Okay. My hands were so sticky. I'm going to do the same thing for these. I'm going to take them out because you can see there's still a little residue in there. So obviously it didn't solidify all the way. Can't really tell the difference between the green and blue, but that's okay. No, not that way. I want to do these. Okay. Alrighty. So what have I learned here? UV resin, I would say, is, because this isn't really that thick. This is super thin. UV resin doesn't seem to be the best for bigger projects. Now, if you're, like how I use it for basically the use like glue, but to me resin holds longer and stronger than glue does, so that's why I use it for my earrings. that, or maybe if you're just doing clear, I'm sure somebody is going to say, well, I put stuff in my UV resin all the time. I would suggest just doing clear UV resin so that the light penetrates all the way through. You can't put the light too close or for too long, otherwise it starts bubbling and then your stuff is wonky. So I think I'm definitely, if I'm going to make these like to sell, I'm definitely going to use regular resin. And I think I'm probably, I guess it kind of fits. I don't know. I feel like that's really tight. It could just be how it's set though. I have a feeling it's too tight. But it is cute. And then make a little pouch to put it in, you know. That one's a little sticky still. Just gonna play tic-tac-toe with myself. Wait a minute. I'm missing one. Well, ain't that some crap? I need to make another one. I guess I need to make one other set. You're supposed to have one extra. Alrighty. So there's my little tic-tac-toe thing. I think I'm going to make more of these, just use the regular resin, just because the curing doesn't seem to be doing what it's supposed to do. And I don't want it to warp any more than it already has. It is a cute little thing though. So, well, UV resin is really easy for a quick fix or to glue things, glue, air quotes, glue together. But as far as doing something large, I wouldn't suggest it, especially if you want to make it colored. I would not suggest it. But if you want to knock yourself out, I'm not your mom. I think that was basically it. I just wanted to try that, and unless you guys have some techniques. If you guys have some techniques, maybe I'm not cooking it long enough, or I don't know, because like even this is warped because of how the resin pulled from where the light was. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. Thank you to my subscribers. If you're new and you want to see more chaos, by all means, like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 50 subscribers, and I seem to be stuck at 48. It takes 50 to do a live, which I think would be really cool. Maybe talk to some of you. According to YouTube, my demographic is like 60 and 70-year-olds. So, hi, how you doing? I think that's kind of awesome. At least I know you have an attention span. So that's all I got today. I hope you had fun. Have a happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Even if you're a dog dad, that counts too. That's all I got. So stay safe, stay cool, and I will see you next week.